Let's start in the smallest class with two front runners, Logan Cirk of Alcester-Hudson and Corbin Harmeyer of Wolsey-Wessington. Logan Cirk has been on the top performer list all season long. He's the only player in the class over 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards passing. Corbin Harmeyer has played a pivotal role in getting the ball to Tristan Abbott and guiding Wolsey-Wessington to a terrific year. Here are the rest of the contenders in the class. Brendan Begeman is over 1,300 yards, and he's fought through a wrist injury this season. Colin Fry of Langford has had a brilliant year, being the best dual-threat quarterback in the northeast part of the state. Marty Goen has stepped up to the tune of 120 yards on the ground per game for the Warbirds. TJ Amar is efficient on offense and defense for Dakota. And Connor Libis has really stepped up in the last few games for St. Mary. In 9A, the frontrunners, Tice Ortman of Canastota Freeman. Tice has only played 22 quarters this year, but he's managed to rush for 717 yards and throw for another 486. Here's some of the other contenders. Bridgewater-Emery-Ethan of Wall. He's been the most productive player on that unbeaten team. Warner has two contenders, Ty Kramer and Landon Lighthold. Stats alone could propel Stratton Eppert of Chester to the top of the list. Riley Genslinger has been the best player on the best team in the class. And where would North Border be without Isaac Sumption? He's run for almost 200 yards per game and had a hand in 24 scores. In 9AA, the frontrunners are Angel Johnson and Cody Thompson. Angel has kept the Viborg-Hurley team cranking despite multiple injuries to key players. Cody Thompson has already thrown for over 2,000 yards and 33 touchdowns this year. When it's all said and done, he will have many of the 9-man national passing records. Others in the hunt, Jackson Nome. He's averaging 174 yards per game. Carter Hoffman, he brings a special electricity anytime he touches the ball. Grayson Hansen has been huge on both sides of the ball for unbeaten Platte Geddes. And how about Sam Schleibach? He's helped Rapid City Christian rise in the standings. Moving to 11-man football in Class 11B, it's a three-way race between some very beastly backs. Kobe Kaiser, Sam Kruger, and Jacoby Kraus jump to the head of the pack. Kaiser has done a lot, rushing, receiving, tackling, returning. Whatever needs to be done, Kobe has done it for the Seahawks. Sam Kruger might not have the same numbers as some of the other top contenders, but he's been a rock on the Winter Warriors. Jacoby Kraus has put up a monster season, including an 11-man record 425-yard rushing performance. He's been over 100 yards in every game he's played for McCook Central Montrose. Others in contention, Jackson Schiller of Sioux Valley. He's been a great receiver and runner for the Cossacks. Brady Fritz of Winter, whose stats don't do him justice. Caden Eisenman of Mobridge Pollock, the leading passer in 11B. He's almost at 2,000 yards passing. And how about Riley Schmitz of EPJ? He keeps on trucking the ball up and down the field. He's also made an impact on special teams. In Class 11A, there really is no front runner, but a ton of candidates who are waiting in the shallow water to make a strike over the next few weeks. Kobe June of Dakota Valley has big play ability like no other. Caden Johnson and Austin Lake have both supplied a ton of offense for T-Area. Justin Zerpel and Derek Eidsness, they've fueled a big West Central surge in recent weeks. Kobe Mason, probably the best defensive player in the class for Del Rapids. And how about Charlie Ward? He's been the best passer with over 1,600 yards through the air for Vermilion.
Go! Oh, yeah.
In 11AA, some of the best backs in the state are in this class. Josh Burai has had the best yards per carry, while McGuire Rasky has got the most scrimmage yards and touchdowns in the class. Others in the hunt, Parker Phillips of Mitchell, he leads in rushing yards. Trevor Fitzgerald of Yankton, he just picked up the quarterback position this summer, and he's been unbelievable as a passer and runner. Don't forget about defense. Parker Theobald of Brookings, he's got 6.5 sacks, and Reagan Bolwig of Pierre, he can do it all. In the state's largest class, it's between Tate Johnson and Tyler Feldkamp. Tate has put up another crazy year on the ground with 180 rushing yards per game, while Tyler, He's exploded all over the field. He's hauled in 9 touchdowns receiving, he's made 4 picks on defense, and he's blocked several kicks. He's an all-around bad man. Maybe one of these QBs could make a case. Tommy Thompson has been the most consistent quarterback with a 61% completion rate and 18 touchdowns through the air and 7 more on the ground. Jacob Knuth is also over 60% throwing with more yards and more touchdowns through the air. Or maybe it's Talon Ashley. He's led the #1 offense in the class to a successful year. And don't forget about Dawson Schmidt of Watertown. He averages over 100 yards per game receiving and has 4 picks on defense. Then there's Randolph Kapai of Washington. He leads the class in tackles and is tied with 4 interceptions to lead the class.